What's up guys, and welcome back to another video. So today I'm gonna show you what I think might be one of the best non-template drafts. Pretty much for players that are not a part of like the template that you see on Twitter or all the YouTube creators, and everyone pretty much has the same team, you know, with Bruno, Salah, Trent, Alexander-Arnold, Watkins, Antonio. It's very similar to the team that everyone is building. So I just looked at some players that I think are not as common in these drafts. Obviously, one or two players you might have seen in a lot of drafts recently, but I will explain why I have them in. And I think these are just like players that are kind of going under the radar from like the Twitter and the YouTube community, and also like maybe overall with percentages and stuff as well, overall percentage. But let's get into it. So I think as a goalkeeper to start off, I think Melier, you pronounce it like that, is a really good choice. Obviously, they have United in the first game week. Then they have Everton, which according to the FDR is 4, but I really don't think so. They got trashed by United today. I think that Melier is such a good goalkeeper. He got so many bonus points from a lot of shots saved, and even in the end of last season, the defense for Leeds were improving a lot, so they actually kept quite a lot of clean sheets. So I think it's going to be a great keeper this season. So if you want to have a set and forget keeper, just get him in. Easy and done. I think he's going to get more points than Sanchez over the season, 100%, and more points than Bachmann as well, 100%. But in this team is so much cheaper in general than the regular template teams, because you don't have the big hitters like Salah and Fernandes. So you can build a pretty good squad. I think Bachmann as a second goalkeeper is a good choice, 4.5 million, why not? And then the rest of the team. So if we go for like the defense, so obviously a lot of these players are players that you might think are rotation risks, which over the course of the season, 100%, most of these players are not going to play every game. There are probably going to be a lot of injuries in this team as well, especially if you look at the front line and the three strikers. But I think for the beginning of the season, like the first 1 to 3 game weeks, all these players I think are going to have some game time and probably going to do really well from them as well. Robertson, maybe the only player here that is not, maybe that we say non-template. But the only thing about Robertson is that when you see him in the teams you see on Twitter and YouTube and stuff, it's pretty much always him and Trent Alexander-Arnold, or just Trent Alexander-Arnold. You never really see just Robertson. And I think him on his own can definitely do a good work as well. So I just kept him in because I have so much cash to spend in this team, because there's no big hitters really. So I just want to spread it around a bit more. But I think Cancelo is going to start the first couple of games, I think, for sure. I would be surprised if he doesn't. And obviously when he plays, he's so attacking, he can definitely get some attacking returns. Amartey is just a filler, but he's starting the Community Shield, so maybe he'll get some game time now when both Evans and Fofana is out. We have Maguire, who just scored a goal today as well. Obviously if you don't want to go for Shaw, who is like the template pick from United, you could go for Wan-Bissaka, who I think is injured right now, so I wouldn't really go for him. But you can also go for Maguire, or maybe Varane, but I think Maguire will be the easier choice, the more nailed-on choice, definitely. And also he scores from headers sometimes, which he did today, so he's a really good pick, I think, that goes under the radar. We have Lewis Dunk, who is in some drafts, not too many. How many percentages owned? He's only 6.7% owned in general. I think he is a pretty good choice. Obviously, I prefer players like Kufal or someone else, but if you want to have non-template players, I think Dunk is a really good choice. For the midfield then, this is quite interesting, because we have Harrison, who I think is a nail-on player for Leeds. Really good choice if you don't want to go for Rafinha. For sure, he was really good last year. He got, 160 points? Really decent. He got more than Rafinha. We have Mahrez, who I think definitely is going to start the first couple of game weeks. Really good player, really explosive, scored a lot during the preseason, both from assists and goals. Really good. I think Greenwood is going to definitely start at the beginning as well, especially with Rashford out. Sancho not really sure if he's going to start because he hasn't joined the preseason yet, I don't think. Cavani has some issue, and I think Greenwood is definitely going to get some game time. So for 7.5 million, great choice if you don't want to go for Bruno. We also have Gundogan, who's definitely gone under the radar. 5.8% ownership. He was so good last year, 157. He scored 13 goals last year. I mean, it's insane. And I think he's definitely going to start because of all the injuries and players that are coming in late to the squad for Manchester City. He also scored 2 goals in the latest preseason game. I think it's going to be a great option. And also Howard Barnes is back from injury now. And I think Leicester is a team that I really want to go for. And I think the striker situation is kind of difficult. We have Vardy, which I think is going to start, but then is Iheanacho or Duffy going to play? I don't really know. So I think Barnes is a great option just for having an attacking player that probably is very likely to play, and he's such a good player. Before he got injured last season, he got 9 goals and 5 assists. It's really good. I really like this player. It's really good. And the striker line is just like players that are I think they all gonna be nailed on in their teams. Ings should play, otherwise they wouldn't like buy him for 30 million or something. I think he's definitely gonna play, might be on penalties. Wilson is definitely gonna play for Newcastle, he's also on penalties. Vardy is on penalties, he's also gonna play probably. The only thing about this front line is that they're all kinda injury prone, which is probably why not everyone is going for them. And obviously Vardy is very expensive. You can't really have him if you want to have Kane, Bruno, Salah. But as a differential but non-template pick, I think it's definitely decent. Leicester has some pretty good games. Aston Villa has a really good game to start with, but obviously we're not really sure how Ings is going to fit into this team. Not only is he going to start, but also is he going to fit into like the chemistry of the team, like the build-ups, and is he gonna be get along with his teammates from start? We're not really sure about that, of course. And Wilson, always injury issues, but he's playing friendly today, so hopefully he's gonna be ready for the first game week. Obviously, you can play around with this team, but this is not a team I would build and actually play this. But this is just to give you an idea of players that you can go for if you don't want to go for the template players. And I think all these players are great options in their own ways. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Leave a comment if you want to have any questions and I'll answer.